Thank you very much. Thank you very much, and for that powerful keynote speech. Good morning, everyone. San Bonani, good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning.
My name is Josiah Muriuki. Listening to Anne speak reminded me of the great poet Marianne Williamson in the poem where she says that our deepest fear is not that we are inadequate. Our deepest fear is that we are powerful beyond measure. We ask ourselves, who am I to be brilliant, gorgeous, and fabulous? And poses a question, actually, who are you not to be? Okay, so I have the distinguished honor of introducing our panel. I will be your moderator, and I am excited because it's about to go down. Be ready. So my name is Josiah Muriuki. I am a MasterCard Foundation Scholar alumnus from the University of Pretoria. Currently, I am a Mandela Rhodes Scholar, pursuing my master's in food science. And I am a first-generation student and grateful and excited to wear many hats. But the most impactful of all for me is that I serve as the CEO and Executive Director at Betterment Africa, and I've been able to see through students who are in transitions as we've had, and I've been able to help them in professional skills development. In addition to that, I have risen up to the challenge, and I have remembered that we need to all be grounded. So last year, I remembered that we came from home to change home and built my mom and dad a house. Change that story that you saw on the screen. And so as I introduce the panel, it's just to say that the theme for this conversation is Rise to the Challenge. So, are you ready for the panel?
Yes.
On our panel list today is great people. People who are moving and shaking the continent of Africa and the world at large. And I am honored to start with our first panelist, who is Shamim Chua. Shamim Chua is a MasterCard Foundation scholar from USIU Africa, and she is also a CAMA, which is Camfed Association member in Kenya, and plays a major role in her institution in an initiative where they are helping students who do not afford fees to be able to attend school without an issue at all. Say at all. Next on the panel is Jane Kapenda. Jane is a MasterCard Foundation Scholar alumnus. She is a MasterCard Foundation Scholar alumnus from Earth University in Costa Rica. She is also a Camfed Association member from Nkema District in Western Province of Zambia. She is currently pursuing a master's in climate change and sustainable development, and her thesis for her degree at Earth University, which was supported by the MasterCard Foundation, is collaborative designs for food security alternatives with women in Kaoma. I'll tell you why that is very important shortly. But also, she is an award winner of the 2019 Top Ohio Essays for Grower Talks. That is... And last but not least on our panel is Mavis Anate. Mavis hails from Ghana. She holds a degree in education, social science from the University of Cape Coast under the MasterCard Foundation Scholars Program under the Camfed Ghana, my apologies. She also is a professional fashion designer and the founder of May Afrique Fashion and May Afrique Fashion Academy. I am so honored to be seated and standing before you, because all of you look great from up here, and to be now heading to sit and moderate the panel. Are you ready? Okay. So we are coming from a breathtaking keynote speech. We have listened, and I hope that you have listened, and Anne has talked about very important aspects of our being as MasterCard Foundation scholars. So I would wish to request my panel to reflect on what stood out for them or what resonated with them, and please pay keen attention. So I'll start off with Shamim. Do you want to start us off? Awesome.
Hello, everyone. So, Anne, to start with, that was really beautiful. So beautiful. So I really want to say I resonated so deeply with what she said about the two girls, Chipo and her sister. They had to build a hut just for them to go to school, right? Personally, when I was going for secondary school, high school, right? I did not know what was going to happen in terms of my school fees, but still, this was me and my family deciding you're still going to go to school. Whether we have it, the school fees or not, you're going. So this was what happened. Me and my mother had to sit down and had a plan that if they say you're coming back, we say we don't have transport, we'll leave you there. There was a plan. So we're like, even if we have the transport to come back, we'll leave you there, we say there's no transport for you, just for you to stay, right? So I find what Chipo and the sister did so very empowering, because that's what we did too. That's what I did too. I went to school even if I did not know what was going to happen, and I still had the hope that things are going to work out for me, and things really did work out for me. The challenge was there, but things worked out. Comfort came in, you see? So, and on another note, I also had to relate to what she said about her father. Her father was so passionate about her education. My parents are so passionate about my education all the way. Even though they did not get the chance and the opportunity to learn, I am here. And trust me, every time I'm saying I've traveled, they are so proud. It's like a first generation thing. And I am so happy, you see? So I find all these stories that we have, all of us here, so deeply comparing, you see? Yes, I think that's my story.
Thank you so much. And I agree that you are here. We all... I agree that you are here. Please? Okay, thank you. And welcome. So let's hear from Jen.
Okay, thank you very much, and that was very wonderful. Me being here, I'm one of the testimonies, a Kama member, a proud Kama member. I relate with the story for Annie. My father passed away when I was very young, and when I got my Form 8, my grade 8, we call in Zambia, my Form 1, I didn't have any materials or any needs for me to go to school. A well-wisher gave me a school uniform, but still, just a normal book and pen I didn't have. Comfort came in and broke the cycle of poverty in my life. I managed to complete my school. MasterCard Foundation also came in. I went to Earth University, far away from Zambia, where I completed also my studies. So what I can relate to this story, we shouldn't be into our comfort zone. Let us embrace the challenges so that we can end the cycle of poverty. I was once vulnerable. Now I'm proud to say I'm honorable. Thank you.
Awesome, awesome, awesome. Awesome. You can hear the gems. They are coming and they will keep coming. Let's hear from Mavis.
Hi Hi, Josiah. Thank
Hello.
you so much. Hello, everyone. I think me personally, I resonate so well with the molest child because growing up from a small village where girls' education was less recognized and being classified as important, and being raised by a single mother who passed away shortly after I could complete my basic education, all hope was lost. I didn't know how I would manage my life through no sense of direction, no purpose, until I met the MasterCard Foundation Scholars Program at Comfort, Ghana, where my hope came back. Even with that, as a young girl, I had no mentorship. I had no person in my life guiding me on what path to choose until the program came in. I met the foundation in Comfort, where mentorship was being done from the scratch. I began to find sense of purpose, know my stand. They introduced numerous entrepreneurship programs where I was able to take opportunity to learn fashion, even though I was a social science student, and that was the turning point for my life. So I resonate so well with the molest child and the opportunity Anne gave to Angie as the first daughter of the Comfort Association.
Awesome, awesome, awesome. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. There's a saying in our generation that hurt people hurt others. Do you remember that? Do you guys know that? Anne talked about healing and healing from hurt so that we don't then go hurting others. And I would want us to hear from a voice that is quite relatable, but also a psychology student. So Shamim, could you tell us how can we as MasterCard Foundation scholars embark on our healing journey and ensure that we heal for ourselves and for others so that we are able not to then do what the saying is saying, hurt people, hurt others. What do you think?
So, first of all, what I have to say is be kind to yourself. That's something I'm going to say today and almost forever. Forever, I must say, be kind to yourself. The thing about pain is that it lasts longer when you do not acknowledge it. You see? All of us in here, we uplift others, right? That's what we do. We are all leaders. But the thing is now, sometimes we do not acknowledge what we faced. And what I want to say now is that it's okay not to be okay, right? It is okay. So we all need to acknowledge the pain, right? For us to rise to the challenge, for us to be better, just as Anne said, you need to acknowledge it. You need to accept that, oh, that's who I am, and that happened to me, right? Right when you accept, now you learn how to move on and to be better. We want to be leaders who are leading from the heart and whole and like your whole self, rather than reading from exhaustion. Reading from pain is different, right? So apparently, we want to lead while healed, isn't it? And leading whilst you're healed means that you can empathize. Yes, you can, because you know I've faced this and I've grown, isn't it? So once we have healed, we're going to be able to be better. We're going to be able to uplift our communities and also help others to heal, right? So we're not hurting anyone anymore. So I think, from my perspective, we need to heal. And also we need to create channels for other people. I think everything I wanted to say, and you said it so well, that we can create channels, we can talk to people, and I also think that is right. Thank you.
Awesome, awesome, awesome. Thank you so much. So let's now shift gears a bit. And as I was introducing the panel, I made sure that I did justice to read one of the thesis titles. And this is the reason. It's because we have Jane, who has deep knowledge in why indigenous knowledge is very important. And many times we think that it's only things that come from elsewhere that should be worthwhile and not things that come from Africa. And we would want to hear from your experience while studying at Earth University and looking at the very detailed food security thesis. What would you give as your lessons that you learned while diving deep into the importance of indigenous knowledge?
Thank you very much. As he has already mentioned, I studied from Earth University. So the most thing which I valued most, in as much as it was agronomic, and it has different concepts, but the most thing which I valued most was the part of organic farming. So when I completed my degree from Earth University, I joined the program also for MasterCard Foundation fellowship program, which connected me to a certain NGO. So I had the opportunity to work physically with different communities in Zambia. So with me observing and seeing the different ways of how they do their production, most of our farmers, most of smallholder farmers, they are turning away from the use of their indigenous knowledge of farming. They are much into using of synthetic fertilizers and chemicals. So I took this opportunity with the hosting NGO where I was doing my fellowship program, where I was able to train different smallholder farmers into compost making, tea manure making, also into organic pest management. In my past 2 years also, there's a program which I started working on, which was making of biochar, which is made from the residues the farmers they were getting from their field after the harvest. This also had a great impact into their soil and also improved their yields. So not only that, with the commercial farmers, I worked with 16 different clusters who are into livestock. So with them, I managed to train them into rotational grazing, communal herding, and also come up with some agreement within the same communities to stop burning. Why did I do this? Because I believe that the backbone of agriculture is the maintenance we give to our soil. If we protect our soil the way our forefathers and our grandparents used to do without the use of a lot of chemicals and fertilizers, they were able still to harvest. So I try to go back and convince these farmers so that in as much as they are using these synthetic fertilizers, but they are able also to use these organic components into their farming. This has helped them also to reduce on the production inputs. You know, fertilizers and other chemicals, they are very expensive. Some smallholder farmers, they can't afford to continuously use this. So I came in so that they can start using both. In this field, maybe they use synthetic fertilizer, but they also have another field where they use organic fertilizer. With this project, which I supported on biochar production, right now, some farmers, they are even registering for them to start trading their carbon, because the biochar which is produced from my lesson, which I learned under climate and which I learned through the climate course I'm doing, it shows that when we burn this biochar, it is able to trap some emission into the environment. So it is also a sustainable way, which is being adapted in Malawi, and also it is being adapted in Mozambique, and I just hope it is going to expand to many parts of Africa. Thank you.
Awesome. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. And I want to refer to what you said earlier and say that indeed you are honorable. Really, the work you're doing.
I was vulnerable, now I'm honorable.
Thank you so much. All right. Hearing her speak reminded me that when I was leaving Kenya to join the MasterCard Foundation Scholars Program at the University of Pretoria, I was just going to do an honors program. So an honors program is a one-year program, and that is in food science, and now I'm doing my master's in food science. And I didn't know how important indigenous knowledge is until I realized that my project, do you guys want to know what my project is on? My project is on fermentation. Now, let me tell you why that was interesting, to realize that I have to study for 2 years to do a thesis on fermentation of African legumes. My grandmother used to make porridge so fermented porridge. It's called uji. And they used to make sure that the gourds and calabashes that they use for the porridge that was fermented few days, few months ago, remain with a bit of porridge so that when they put in new porridge, it ferments faster. What I didn't know is that in science, that is called backsloping, where you are inoculating or re-inoculating a fermented sample into a non-fermented sample so that it ferments faster. So my grandmother knew that, and I didn't know it, guys. That's the power of indigenous knowledge. So let's hear from Anne. I know that this topic on indigenous knowledge is one that is very close to your heart. What would you have to say? Because I have shared, Jane has shared, and I believe most of us would know something that your grandparents used to do, and it's getting lost, and that's why we need to be very careful. So what would you say about indigenous knowledge?
Yes, indeed. I've seen this, and you've had the experience at Earth, and I met with Clara Zinyama from Zimbabwe, and she came back, and she said to me, I had no idea that what my aunties and my mother and my grandmother have been telling me about, our plot and how to grow, there it is. It's in Costa Rica, this amazing university, a leading global university. It's in the textbooks. And I didn't know. And I think, we're facing an environmental crisis. This knowledge is imperative. And I remember a time when I was in Malawi. We were working with a preschool, and we were providing nutritious porridge in the morning for the children. And I was watching with the mothers and the grandmothers. And one said to me, and we give some children extra. And I said, how do you choose which children need extra? And she said, because they eat too fast. And I thought that was such powerful knowledge. They eat too fast. Is anyone asking the mothers, the grandmothers who know so much? Yes, we are asking. You are asking. And they are vital. This knowledge is vital. Thank you. Thank you.
Wow. Thank you so much. All right. So we can all tell that indeed we need to go back to our indigenous knowledge and just delve deep a bit to see what is it that they knew that we don't know now. So let's move now to our fashion designer. Mavis, my question to you would be, because you have a journey that is more on empowerment as it is about design, bearing in mind that you've been on this journey for a while. And what would be one of your lessons that you would advise, especially in the creative industry, and how would you look at, in our Mastercard Foundation Scholars Program, we have people who are very passionate about creativity, design, and there's a journey that has brought you here. What drove you to delving into fashion, especially with a background, a degree in social sciences? Let's start from there.
Okay, thank you so much. So, being the first person in my family to get access to formal education, both basic education, secondary education, tertiary education, I was very privileged because I was the first to get that in my family. And then being on the program, the Mastercard Foundation Scholars Program at Camfed, and seeing all that we were being trained, all the mentorship, all the orientation they were giving me, gave me a sense of purpose and a desire to chance on a different path, because growing up, we've always seen a skill training or a trade as something that is mostly being recommended to failures, being recommended to school dropouts. Oh, you are a victim of teenage pregnancy, go and learn a skill. But then being in association or being in a community, in a network that empowers, that encourages, seeing women thrive on both entrepreneurship field and also in the academic field, I saw the need that, other people are doing the formal way, going to corporate field, but then I don't see myself there. I can do something different. I can chart a different course, and I know that I will not follow what everybody was doing, but then I need to create something that is unique to me and also will give me the leverage to impart many other people just like me. So one thing that really pushed me to do fashion and even to start up my company was the sense to empower and be a source of inspiration to many young women, because I've seen most of them in my community where they want to, they have the willingness, but they don't get the opportunity. They don't get people to look up to even be motivated that, oh, if I'm unable to be the banker, or if I don't have the desire to be the doctor, I can still be an entrepreneur. It's not even I can still. It is even very profitable and very lucrative to be in that space. We just need the right network to be inside. We just need the right people to speak to us. So that led me from coming straight from school to starting a business. So I'm one person that has a very interesting story. I've never worked for anybody. I moved from the university straight to start my own business. That was so daring. I had my friends and everybody asking me, are you sure about this? They started doing national services in big companies, and I said, no, I was so. I'm starting this company and we are doing it full time. I'm not ready to go sacrifice what I've built small with another person, because you know that sometimes you might be want to play safe with, well, let me do it part-time, but then I know the cost or I know the path I wanted to chase, and then that wasn't for anybody. It was just for me and to me. So this led me to the starting my May Africa Fashion and Fashion Academy, and that has grown and nurtured over 100 young women to get the general fashion skills, business skill, and also to start their own businesses, and they are doing so well because we give them continuous mentorship. One challenge I've faced throughout this journey is the value people place on skill and also trade. People find it very small space to be. So I've seen people who have the desire to pursue their passion, who have the desire to pursue their God-given talents. Some things you can do it very easily, but their parents, their mentors, their guardians are being pushed to go to corporate world because they feel that is the space that you can be the billionaire, that is the space that you can build the mansion. But then that is very wrong. So me being here, me being in this space is just to be a living testimony, be an inspiration that it is possible to rise from nothing and become something. Your background can be very poor, can be very low, can be very diminishing, but then you as a person, you have the chance, you have all the power, you have all the resources available to you to rise up to the challenge and define everything that used to be a setback from your background, and then rise up and pull other people along. Right now I stand here not just for myself, but then for the many other young women who are connected to my dreams, many other young men who find hope in the platform I've given to them, because I was fortunate to be on the platform of the MasterCard Foundation Scholars Program at Comfort Ghana, the network, the sisterhood that Comfort has created for us. The sisterhood, my business started with them. My first customer was a Kama Mema, and they supported me so much. So having been in this kind of network, I cannot watch other people not to get saved. So if I've gotten the platform, I needed to create the opportunity for other people to enjoy that benefit, to enjoy that experience, because the platform has really created a path for me. And today, I am thriving in my space because of that opportunity.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. And the fact that it's actually possible, what she said, it's possible to rise from nothing to something. Do you believe it? Scholars, alumni, do you believe it? Yes. Thank you so much. So now we want to lead this to a close. And I believe that we are having just a snippet of the conversations that would be going on that side. The theme for today, or for this panel specifically, and the keynote, is rising to the challenge. And when you rise to the challenge, one of our scholars from the University of Edinburgh, Dr. Idorenyin John, I had to make sure that I pronounce that correctly. It's not good to butcher people's names. Reminded us yesterday that great things or good things come from seemingly negative situations. And that is why, in the view of that, is why I would want to hear some of the challenges that the people seated in front of you have gone through and how they rose to the challenge, but also remained grounded, because it's very important. So I would want to start, we can start off with Shamim.
Now I'm thinking of challenges, and I'm thinking there are lots. So I'm trying to choose which one. Just for you to know that now we face a lot, and we keep on rising, right? So personally, I think I can talk about, there was a time I wanted to start an initiative. Now, back at home, in Malawi that is, I wanted to start like a mental health, like a facility, not a facility, but something like whereby the youth in my community would come to me, they would talk to me if they need, like counseling kind of, but that would be offered by me. So I had to find people who are like-minded in my community, because at the same time, I cannot talk with everyone, you see? Because the plan was there that, oh, when people come, I'm going to talk to them, I'm going to advertise, not advertise, but just publicize about it, but at the same time, it can't only be me. So I started searching for people in my community, and the responses I got were so draining, I must say. Like, people were like, why counseling? Why do you think people need it? If at least you said about something, people would have supported you. But on this case, I barely had the support of people, because nobody could actually relate and say it is important for people just to get counseling. So I remember there was only one person, my friend, who would actually say, but you know, you can just try sessions in schools, right? So I started with, so let me go back on that. The friend who was supporting me stays in another district. Now from Nairobi, this person stays in Mombasa. And she's so supportive. She says, you can do this, or you can just start with the school sessions and what. So it means I'm alone, right? So I started with going to primary school. My first school that I went was a primary school. I went and I had to talk to the head teacher. I was like, oh, I just want to talk about mental health, how people can express themselves to the class 8, the final class, so that they can stay grounded and stuff. So I was given the opportunity. That made me realize I can't only go to primary schools, but I can also go to secondary schools. I can even go to colleges or universities, just talking about it. So I literally started from there alone. I was going to schools alone, until I had the support from my fellow Camfed alumni,
awesome.
The Camfed Association members. It's also like, oh, you're doing this and you did not tell us. We're here to support you. Then now I had a team. Then now we're going to schools, and everything was just going okay. So how I rose to the challenge is that I started, whether with support, with no support, I started. And that really gave me the courage. Now I know that people support you sometimes when you start, when you have that energy. So yeah.
Thank you so much. Thank you. And thank you for starting. Let's go to Jen.
Okay, as I have mentioned already, I did agricultural science, and you know agriculture, more especially in my country and in other places, it is a male-dominated industry. So starting by the time I went to study, people, they were like, why can't you just do nursing? But I went and I managed to graduate. Going back to my community again, I faced the reality whereby I have to go and meet the farmers and show them the reality that I can do it. So that was a challenge, because at first I had fear. I was like, how am I going to do it? Okay, they'll say, no, this is the woman. How can she train farmers? This is the woman. How can she maybe move with a motorbike, go in the field? But with my college, I was like, no, I can do this. If at school we were able to ride tractors, we were able to ride bicycles to go in the field, even here, I can do it. So what pushed me to go on, I had to demonstrate and show them that really the practical, which I'm telling them, it is worth it. Through the demos, through the trainings with the Ministry of Government, so that at least when they come and see the demos and they are really able to see that what she's preaching is worth it. So that helped me like to continue with my success.
Awesome, awesome, awesome. So you can actually ride a tractor. Amazing. Thank you so much. Mavis, tell us.
Okay, so I would say staying resilient, because the entrepreneurship journey is one that is it's not a smooth space, or it's not a smooth journey, but then staying resilient and then knowing success doesn't happen overnight. So being consistent and showing up every day, even when you're not ready to. And also right now, knowing that my journey is not about me alone again. I have other destinies connected to me. So sometimes, even if you feel tired, you want to give up, you know you are going down. If you decide to stop today, it's not about you. It's not you alone. But then other destinies, other dreams are connected to you. So that helps me to stay focused, stay resilient, and that's how it's been.
Thank you so much. Your success is connected to the destinies of many people. And that reminds me that you need not to stop, because when you stop, you cause traffic behind you. Yeah, thank you. Thank you so much for that great reflection. Anne, could you tell us about one of the challenges that you've faced and how you rose up to the challenge? Because we've heard from people who've benefited from your one act of rising to the challenge. But what are some of the challenges? Or probably you can tell us about one.
Thank you. There have been two occasions in which I have felt I couldn't go on. The first was when I lost a very close colleague. She passed away. And I was absent and stood on each other like a pyramid. And I thought, wow, the trust that is needed. And I think the only way you can get through these hard times are when you have built trust.
Realize that rising to the challenge really requires that you take initiative. You've had the initiatives that they've taken against all odds, and you emerge. And it's so exciting to learn from our panel today. So I want to open this conversation now to you, so that you are part of me. We are all asking questions. So we have an opportunity to ask 2 questions. So you can raise your hand, and when you stand, or when you're given the mic, please say your name, which institution you're from, and ask your question. Do we have any questions in the room? Just raise your hand. I can see one here.
Thank you.
And I can see one at the back.
Right,
okay.
So we'll take those 2 questions. One, where, Josiah?
Here.
Right over here.
And one at the back.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Asimo Derek, Makerere University. Thank you so much. Dear panelists, it's really great to hear from you. Fashion, farming, education. I'm the president of the Scholars Association at Makerere University. You want to clap for that? The topic of this summit is nurturing the future through Africa's youth. Being the president, I know that we are being prepared to take over leadership. However, the leadership we are being prepared for is in only 2 aspects of society. We have 3 aspects of society.
Could you please just ask your question so that because we are very
we are prepared for social and economic. However, there is an aspect I'm missing out. Political aspect. We are not being prepared for that. I don't know if I'm not getting it right. Now, this political aspect is where the bigger decisions are being made. How can you encourage us, or how can you support us to take over in these political aspects? Me, the person who is speaking here, I've taken steps. I am a flag bearer in the coming general elections of my country. I need inspiration. I need support. You get that? Kindly speak about that aspect.
All right.
I'm rising up to the challenge of bad leadership, of bad governance in my country. Most obliged.
Thank you so much. Let's take the other question, and then we will have
Okay, greetings everyone. I'm Zolani Jacobs from South Africa, from the University of the Western Cape. My question, I have 3 questions specifically for one of the panelists that is doing crops, research in crops. So my question is, I would like to know your background, because I do believe that purpose is driven by your background. So I'd like to ask your background that spiked interest in doing research in crops. So why do you want to improve crops? That's the first one. The second one is, are you collaborating with any countries? Because I know that in South Africa, there's a lot of professors, also scientists, that are working on improving crops, even funding by the municipality to improve crops. So are you collaborating with any of these countries to improve that, especially scientists that are doing these experiments on improving crops? The third one is, can I check something quick? Sorry.
All right. I think.
No, just the last one.
Just do it quick, yeah, please.
Oh, yes. This is the question. How did climate of this 21st century affected crops? Yeah, that's it.
All right. Thank you so much for the question. So due to time, we will have. I think I will request Anne to respond to how young people can rise up. You've been on the leadership journey for a while. So how can young people rise up to the challenge, especially in political leadership, bearing in mind that they are rising to the challenge of bad governance and leadership? And then we will have Jane respond to the question that was directed to you. Anne?
That is such a question. I think I would need a few months to think about it. I think one thing we have to remember is, politicians are human beings. Each of them is like us here, and all of them have backstories. I think the way you're building an incredible network, you have an incredible network, the way you're building on that will give you strength. Will give you strength if you go into politics, because political environment is very, very tough. And to withstand it, you need so much. You need courage. You will be lied about. You will have massive jealousies. And you're going to have to find people around you who are prepared to be behind you, not in front, that you can be in front, and train. Train in public speaking. Train, through your podcasts. Train in building, a community. But it's a very tough environment. Know it, and there will be politicians that you respect. Go to them. There is a lot of intergenerational learning, and people love being asked their advice. Go to them and find out how they've managed. What are the challenges they've faced? How they overcome.
All right. Thank you so much. So let's hear from Jen, your response to the question.
Thank you. Though I didn't really get clear the parts where he mentioned his country.
Could you?
Yes, but what was the question?
Could you please voice your question just
Yes, please.
kindly so that we...
Okay, your background that spiked an interest in doing research in crops. And also, are you working on collaborating with any scientists in different countries that are also working on improving crops? And the last one is, how does the climate change of the 21st century affected crops? Thank you.
Okay. So as I mentioned, I was working with an NGO. So for you mentioning South Africa, I'm sure you came across the company called Solidaridad, because of course it is also in your country. So when I mentioned of crop, it was part of the interest, because I did agricultural science where I majored in agronomic engineering. And with my fellowship program, it focused on community development. So it being focused in community development, I chose to focus most on how best we can improve the fertility of the soil, because that was the challenge which I observed in my country, specifically in Zambia. So when you mention of working with other scientists, yes, we work with some trained personnel from our ministry, and also as an NGO, we have different people we partner with in different countries, because the NGO which I was affiliated to during my fellowship, it is a global NGO. It is in different countries. Yes.
All right. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. It's been so interesting to listen to a spectrum of experiences, views, and especially when it gets to learning, unlearning, and relearning. So I would want to request in one sentence, could you please just give us your parting shot so that then we will exit the stage? Just one statement. What would you want the students to take home? What should the MasterCard Foundation scholars seated here take home? We'll start with Mavis. Yes.
Okay, so I think mine would just be a deep sense of gratitude to the MasterCard Foundation Scholarship Program in Comfort, Ghana, and Cotton especially for the opportunity they've given us. Some of us had no hope, no direction. If someone would tell the younger me that I would be here today, I would have doubted the person. But it's possible today because of the opportunity the MasterCard Foundation Scholars Program and then Comfort has put together. Just as me, I know my other and fellow scholars and Kama sisters are very grateful. So I'm just in of a deep sense of gratitude and saying thank you. And also to everyone here, just as my speech said, we can all be better people and can create better impact. No impact is seen as small. It might be small today, but then you had no idea how voluminous or how big it will become in the future. Just as Anne started, I didn't know I would even train one person, but today I have a lot of people who understudies me, who are learning, who are picking things, who are following me step by step. If I had thought my impact was little, I wouldn't have even started at all. So I'm just grateful, and also I'm open for partnership. I'll be at the exhibition stand. Pass by today to shop and let's have conversation. Thank you
so much. Thank you so much. We go to Jane. Just one statement briefly so that we'll conclude.
Okay, so what I can say, at Earth University we used to say, gente de cambio. We are the agent of change. So what I can say is, chance favors the prepared minds. So every time, just be ready. When you have an opportunity or you have anything to do in life, put all your effort. The help will come. If people see effort in you, definitely there will be someone to support you to go through it.
Thank you so much. Shamim?
I want to say, it's so hard to give what you do not have. So be kind to yourself for you to be kind to others. So I think that is all. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Finally, let's hear the words from Anne.
You know, the poet yesterday morning, Mufasa, he said, change will come when we accept the leader inside us. You are incredible leaders already. Accept it.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. I'm so honored. And my parting shot is, nothing beats the power of a determined mind. So rise up to the challenge. It's been our time.
Indeed.
Till next time. Thank you
so much, Josiah and the team. I'm going to ask you to please come stand for a picture. It would be wonderful. Let's give them another round of applause. What an inspiring, what a powerful reflection. And may we have you in the middle for this shot. Yes, a round of applause for Josiah, for Mavis.